The internet is buzzing after Joe Rogan dropped what may be the most explosive claim of his career. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika Kirk, is being exposed as a horrible human being. According to Rogan, the evidence he uncovered shows behavior, decisions, and communications that are shocking, manipulative, and deeply unsettling. He revealed private messages, recordings, and first-hand accounts that paint a picture of someone who isn't the grieving widow the public has been led to believe. Fans and critics alike are stunned. For months, Erika maintained a public image of sorrow and innocence. But Joe claims behind closed doors, she was actively working against people closest to Charlie. According to his sources, Erika manipulated timelines, withheld crucial information, and may have intentionally misled family, friends, and the public to serve her own agenda. The timing couldn't be more shocking. Just as the world sympathized with her, Rogan's revelations shattered that narrative. Social media is flooded with clips of the podcast, dissecting every word, and people are debating the implications. Charlie's family, TPUSA associates, and political insiders are all now under scrutiny, with questions about how much they knew and whether Erika's actions influenced outcomes they claim to be unaware of. This isn't just a personal scandal, it has wide-reaching implications, both socially and politically. Erika Kirk's actions, as revealed by Joe Rogan, challenge everything the public thought they knew about her. Part 1 opens with the kind of shock that reverberates across both social media and political circles. Joe Rogan's latest podcast episode didn't just hint at wrongdoing, it presented what he described as hard evidence implicating Erika Kirk in manipulative, troubling behavior that goes far beyond what the public has seen. According to insiders who spoke with Rogan, Erika allegedly engaged in a series of actions that actively misled people close to Charlie Kirk, including family, friends, and colleagues. While maintaining a facade of grief and innocence for the cameras, the first revelation came in the form of private messages that were leaked to Rogan. These messages, reportedly exchanged between Erika and several associates, outlined strategies for controlling narratives about Charlie's final days. The tone of these communications was cold and calculating, completely at odds with the tearful widow image she portrayed publicly. According to sources, Erika discussed managing public perception, framing events to her advantage, and even influencing which stories were allowed to reach the press. Fans and political observers were stunned as clips of Joe Rogan's discussion circulated online. He claimed that Erika's manipulations weren't random or reactive. They were deliberate and strategic. For example, certain timelines of Charlie's last interactions had been subtly altered in public statements to create confusion or mislead investigators and family members. Every move Erika made was, according to Rogan's evidence, part of a broader plan to maintain control over the narrative. Charlie's parents, who have been outspoken about their suspicions, were quick to react. They confirmed some of the inconsistencies Rogan referenced, noting that Erika frequently blocked them from accessing information, controlled communications about Charlie's affairs, and often contradicted herself when questioned. They said her actions were not signs of grief, but deliberate attempts to manipulate events for her benefit. Social media exploded with reactions, clips, screenshots, and commentary dissecting every word of Joe Rogan's podcast went viral. Users began connecting past interviews, public appearances, and statements Erika had made to the newly revealed evidence. Patterns emerged, suggesting that much of her public behavior might have been calculated to present a specific image to the world. Analysts highlighted moments when she seemed rehearsed, overly defensive, or evasive, suggesting these were not lapses but intentional performances. Even political commentators who previously supported Erika began questioning her motives. If the allegations were true, it meant her influence extended beyond personal matters into political and media strategies, raising concerns about the ethics of her actions and the impact they had on those around her. Questions arose. How much of what the public believed about Charlie's final days had been shaped by her and how many people were unknowingly complicit in the narrative she constructed. Insiders claim that Rogan's evidence also included voice recordings and metadata that directly contradicted Erika's public statements. These recordings reportedly contain conversations where Erika discussed controlling outcomes and managing perceptions of those involved in Charlie's life. In these snippets, her demeanor was described as cold, calculating, and surprisingly unemotional, revealing a side of her the public had never seen. By the end of the first day after the podcast aired, the internet had turned into a frenzy. News outlets, forums, and social media platforms were flooded with discussion, speculation, and analysis. Erika's reputation, once carefully curated, was now under intense scrutiny. Every gesture, statement, and appearance was being reevaluated in light of Joe Rogan's revelations. Part 2 picks up, with the public and media frenzy reaching a fever pitch. The fallout from Joe Rogan's revelations about Erika Kirk was immediate, with news outlets scrambling to cover every detail, analysts dissecting every clip, and social media users flooding threads with speculation. The narrative that once painted Erika as a grieving widow was now unraveling rapidly, replaced by questions about manipulation, deceit, and control. Sources close to Charlie's inner circle revealed more troubling patterns. They claimed Erika had been actively managing communications about Charlie's personal and professional affairs, deciding what information would reach family members, friends, and the media. Every public appearance she made, every statement she issued, and every interview she gave was now being scrutinized as a potential act of manipulation. Experts analyzing her behavior suggested that her carefully curated image could have been a deliberate strategy to protect her own interests while influencing public perception. The social media reaction was intense. Clips from Joe Rogan's podcast circulated widely, highlighting Erika's alleged calculated actions. Users on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were connecting the dots between her public persona and the private communications Rogan revealed. Patterns emerged that seemed to confirm suspicions that Erika wasn't just reacting to events, but actively orchestrating them. Analysts pointed to her timing of social media posts, the selective release of information, and strategic silences that aligned suspiciously with key moments in Charlie's timeline. Charlie's parents continued speaking out, confirming discrepancies in her narrative and emphasizing that her actions appeared intentional rather than accidental. They recounted instances where Erika withheld critical information, changed timelines, and obstructed access to Charlie's digital records, suggesting she was controlling the story from behind the scenes. Their statements added credibility to Rogan's claims and intensified public scrutiny. Meanwhile, political commentators and insiders began examining her connections with TPUSA and other influential circles. Some suggested that Erika's manipulation wasn't purely personal. It may have had political implications. Was she attempting to control media narratives, shape public opinion, or even influence organizational decisions? These questions fueled further speculation, as analysts compared her actions to well-known strategies for managing perception in high-stakes environments. The situation escalated when reports emerged that Erika had recently secured legal counsel specialized in crisis management. Observers interpreted this as preparation for fallout, indicating she was aware that information might surface that could damage her credibility. Combined with Rogan's evidence, this painted a picture of someone highly calculated and strategic, not merely a widow overwhelmed by grief. By the end of the week, the online community had shifted from shock to investigation. Users were analyzing every known public appearance, comparing dates and statements, and identifying contradictions. Each revelation, each leaked message, each recording seemed to confirm that Erika's public persona had been carefully constructed, and that Joe Rogan's evidence was only the tip of the iceberg. Part 3 begins as the controversy surrounding Erika Kirk reaches unprecedented levels. The combination of Joe Rogan's podcast revelations and the subsequent analysis by media outlets and social Media users created an environment where speculation, investigation, and outrage collided. Erika's public image as a grieving widow had been completely dismantled, replaced by allegations of manipulation, control, and deliberate deception. Sources close to the situation revealed that Erika's communications and actions were far more calculated than previously understood. The private messages and recordings highlighted by Rogan were just a fragment of a broader pattern. Insiders described her as someone who consistently planned and executed strategies to control the narrative, often coordinating with allies in influential positions to ensure that certain information remained hidden. Every public statement, interview, or social media post appeared to be carefully timed and crafted to reinforce a specific image, while simultaneously deflecting scrutiny away from her private actions. Public response escalated as additional discrepancies surfaced. Analysts began comparing her statements with verifiable facts, noting inconsistencies in timelines, locations, and interactions. Experts in media manipulation and behavioral analysis weighed in, suggesting that Erika's tactics demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of perception management. This wasn't simple deception. It was a coordinated effort to influence public opinion and protect her own interests. Charlie's parents and close associates became even more vocal. They corroborated parts of Rogan's evidence, emphasizing instances where Erika obstructed access to Charlie's records, altered narratives, and withheld critical information from those closest to him. According to them, her behavior reflected intent and strategy rather than mere emotion or confusion. Every revelation fueled public outrage and intensified the demand for accountability. Meanwhile, the political implications began to surface. Observers scrutinized Erika's connections to influential figures and organizations, questioning whether her manipulations extended into political maneuvering. Some analysts suggested that her actions could have been designed to influence organizational decisions, media coverage, and public perception in ways that served her broader objectives. The combination of personal, social, and political manipulation painted a picture of someone whose reach and influence extended far beyond what the public had been led to believe. The silence from Erika herself only amplified suspicion. Her social media accounts remained inactive. Her representatives declined to comment, and any attempt at public explanation was conspicuously absent. This absence, combined with Rogan's disclosures, reinforced the narrative that she was strategically retreating to avoid immediate consequences while carefully managing the fallout. As the story continued to evolve, new leaks and insider reports suggested that Erika may have taken further steps to protect herself from scrutiny. Legal preparations, strategic communications, and potential alliances with influential individuals all pointed to a coordinated effort to navigate the intense public and media pressure. Observers concluded that Joe Rogan's revelations were likely just the beginning, with more information potentially capable of reshaping public understanding of Erika's actions by the time the public fully processed the magnitude of the revelations. One thing was certain: Erika Kirk's carefully constructed public persona had been dismantled. Her credibility was in question, and the investigation into her actions was only beginning. The combination of personal manipulation, strategic communication, and possible political involvement suggested a complex web of deception, leaving the public, media, and those closest to Charlie Kirk questioning the truth behind every statement, every interaction, and every move Erika made. If you've been following this story, you know it's far from over. The revelations from Joe Rogan, combined with the evidence that keeps surfacing, have completely shattered Erika Kirk's public image. What seemed like a grieving widow is now being exposed as someone who allegedly manipulated narratives, withheld crucial information, and coordinated actions to control public perception. The depth of this situation is staggering, and the truth is still unfolding. Don't miss a single update. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when new evidence drops, or when insiders share more details. Every development could change the story completely. And staying informed is the only way to follow the full picture. If you've noticed something we might have missed, or if you have theories about what really happened, share them in the comments. The conversation matters, and your insight could help piece together the next part of this complex puzzle. Like the video to make sure more people see these explosive revelations. And share it with friends so they can stay up to date too. This isn't just celebrity gossip, it's a developing story with real consequences. And every new piece of evidence matters. Stay tuned, stay alert, and get ready for what comes next. Because the truth about Erika Kirk, her actions, and the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's story is still being revealed. And the next update could change everything.